phonies. I'm Crazy Pretzel. Things are gonna start changing around here. King, there's a difference between a boot to the face and a pump kick. A boot to the face is a simple guy who comes running at you, put the boot up, bam, down he goes. Pump kick is when you actually run toward the guy and you do a jumping little kick and knock the guy down. Big difference, King. Start paying attention, phony. Peace out. Hey, phonies, Crazy Pretzel here. And I'm going to talk about Monday Night Raw from last night. Before I go into it, I'm going to say that the week before, they had, like, the whole, like, walkout storyline at the end of the show where all the superstars and refs and divas and cameramen and, techs and, I don't know, whoever else was back there walking out of Monday Night Raw. I really wasn't a fan of, like, the ending of the show last week, but I was willing to give it a chance and see where it went this week, and, it went nowhere. So, they started the show off, I thought the show started off pretty interesting, actually, and then, then it went into a, typical, predictable, not necessarily super boring, but kind of, stale episode of Monday Night Raw that they've been showing for, like, the last, I don't know, year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever. So, I'll get to my thoughts on that. Like, I'm going to talk about, too, how I kind of would have liked to have seen Raw predicted, but let's go to what they did, and then we'll go into it. So they started the show off with Triple H coming out, and he basically is, like, saying that, basically mentioning how, if he doesn't step down, that the frickin', all the superstars aren't going to wrestle or anything or perform. So he was like, if I have to wrestle a broom for 2 hours, I'm going to do it. We're going to have a show. And so then, Cena and then Sheamus and Punk come out and they all pledge their support to him. So Triple H books Cena versus Sheamus and then has Punk do commentary and ringing the bell and stuff. So this was okay. Like, this match really didn't go long at all. It went for like maybe 3-4 minutes and then it just was over with because McMahon came out. But for that brief little bit they had, I thought it was kind of good, actually. And then McMahon came out and then, spoils it, saying that the board's relieved Triple H of his duties, so he's no longer, COO in charge or anything on Monday Night Raw. So then he appoints John Laurinaitis as being in charge. So I thought that was kind of predictable because, it was basically he was going to put someone that was non-biased in charge. So this was kind of predictable. It's just basically McMahon getting back at Triple H or whatever, even though if it is temporary, but whatever. So then the rest of the show was kind of your, typical Monday Night Raw kind of show. We had basically, like, John Morrison backstage talking shit to Laurinaitis, basically saying, I'm going to call him laryngitis. That sounds easier to say. So he's talking to laryngitis and, because the guy can't even talk because it sounds like he's got laryngitis. But anyway, so he's talking to him and just making fun of him, saying that he sucks compared to Triple H. So Christian, shows up and then laryngitis books Christian versus him. And they're both wearing street clothes. So, I really didn't see why they were both wearing street clothes. Because, the guy, Triple H even said, everybody's out there with their gear, ready to go, but they weren't expecting to go or something like that, but it's like they still couldn't, wrestle in their gear, but whatever. So, this match was pretty short. I think it was like maybe 1 or 2 minutes, so I didn't really like it very much. Christian beat him, and then pretty much everybody else in the heel coalition group, that's like Swagger, Ziggler, Cody Rhodes, Christian, and I guess ADR, I don't know. But pretty much all those guys, hit their finishers on him. Then we had Mark Henry versus Randy Orton, which was a good match. It went one commercial break, and then so it probably went about 10 minutes on TV or so. Randy Orton won by disqualification because Cody Rhodes interfered or something and cost Orton the win, even though Orton hit an RKO on Henry. And then after that, they beat the shit out of Orton. Some World's Strongest Slams, and then Rhodes hit a crossroads on Orton. So I kind of like that they gave Cody Rhodes a little bit of momentum, because I guess they're pushing an Orton Codes feud. So, wait a minute. Codes? I meant Rhodes. An Orton Rhodes feud. So, I'm interested in this feud, but I don't think it's gonna do Cody Rhodes any good unless they like actually put him over in this feud. But I don't really see him doing that. So, they had a Divas match next, which was kind of funny. I was looking at the time and it said 9:09. I was like, this match will be over at 9:11, and sure enough, it was over at 9:11. It was a 2-minute match. I think it was Eve and Kelly against Tamina and Rosa Mendez. So really, it was against like 3 wrestlers that can't wrestle. So divas that can't wrestle. I'm so with Eve. She can kind of wrestle a little bit, but the other 3 can't. So it's pretty sad how the Divas division only has like Beth Phoenix and Natalya are like the only 2 that can actually like, I call them wrestlers that actually can go 100%. I know Bobby Black will say Alicia Fox can go, but she kind of can, but I haven't seen it lately, so I can't prove it, you know what I mean? Then we had JR getting fired by laryngitis. Fuck him. Not JR, laryngitis. Then we had a 6-man tag. It was Batista and High Flying versus, I call him Swaggled, because that's Swagger and Dolph Ziggler, and David Otunga, who was a winner on anybody's team. Not really. David Otunga. You know what was funny? I heard Michael Cole say something about, like, I guess, like, Otunga has been, tutoring superstars or something with knowledge or whatever. But it's kind of funny because what has this piece of shit done for the company? He's done absolutely nothing. He's been like a tag team champion and probably the worst tag team champion of all time. So, because is anybody talking about their reign today? No. So, anyway, with David Otunga on your team, you can't lose. And that didn't happen. They did lose. So, Batista and Air Boom won the matchup. Now, I know I'm calling him Batista instead of Mason Ryan, but you know what WWE should do with this guy? They should make him think he's Batista. That would be hilarious. Just make him think he's Batista and just like do the same moves and just bring him back. You know what I mean? Like it wouldn't be necessarily the fake Diesel, fake Scott Hall, or Razor Ramon storyline from back in the day. Like this guy would actually think he's Batista. I think that could be hilarious. But they won't do it because they're stupid. But anyway. Then we had Punk and ADR one-on-one, which I really didn't see the point of it because it wasn't like a number 1 contenders match because they made that earlier with, I guess they booked Cena versus ADR at Vengeance. Wow, what a shocker. So these guys had a match for like a little bit, and then Laryngitis comes out and changes it to a tag team matchup, so it's Punk and ADR against Miz and R-Truth or something. So then this tag match was okay, and pretty much like ADR walks out on Punk with a knee injury that he was kayfabing or whatever. So Punk is facing these 2 guys, and he starts to get the upper hand, and then pretty much Miz and R-Truth get themselves DQ'd by double teaming him. And then Triple H comes out and saves the day and like helps Punk beat the crap out of him, and then Miz and R-Truth take off running. So yeah, I didn't see why those guys were allies because it kind of makes no sense. It kind of goes back to earlier in the show when Punk came out and was like, siding with Triple H. See, I don't like that they're making like these guys buddies because, well, then again, it's the whole Punk burial thing, but get to that in a minute. But I don't like how they're making these guys like, allies because, Punk said some pretty personal shit about Triple H, a little while back. And, you know what I mean? It's just, it doesn't feel natural that they're buddies or something. Like, I think they should, like, have beat the crap out of him and then fought each other, and then they would have been forced to team up or something like that. I feel like if there was at least, some more shown hatred between the 2, then it would have made some sense, but that's kind of how I feel about that. So, the other thing I didn't like about Monday Night Raw, it's been like this the last couple weeks, is I really dislike that Punk is, like, been pushed down. Because, like, when Punk was doing, like, his whole best in the world thing and, like, just cutting great promos and just making the show, like, great, he was, like, super hot. And then I guess McMahon, said, well, we can't have Punk be better than John Cena. So, so basically it's like they just stopped having him talking and doing stuff and whatnot. So it's like, even though Punk's still, like, one of my favorites, he doesn't have, like, that momentum that he had before. So that really kind of ticks me off because, would it have been so bad for Punk to have been as, high on the thing as Cena or even surpass him? I mean, I think it still would have gotten plenty more, ratings and shit for him. So, but anyway, so Monday Night Raw was okay, but I really wish that like they'd have gone a different route, like with the whole walkout storyline. I wish that they would have like had it going maybe another week or something like that, because I would have liked to have had Triple H been like, okay, since ADR is the world heavyweight champion and he's not going to actually show up here to wrestle, then is he going to show up to the pay-per-view? See, I can't put faith in him to actually defend his championship, so guess what? We're going to have a three-way Iron Man matchup to determine a number one contender, so it could have been Sheamus, Cena, and Punk. Granted, Sheamus is a SmackDown guy, but the SmackDown guys are on Raw, the Raw guys are on SmackDown, so is it really a brand separation anymore? They should have had a three-way Iron Man matchup to determine a number one contender, and I guess Cena would have wound up winning it anyways, but, that's fine. They would have had, him win the matchup, and then, kind of kept the thing going with, like, is ADR going to show up at the pay-per-view to defend the title? Otherwise, Cena will be, champion. You know what I mean? So, I mean, they could have had, like, a couple other guys just randomly come out from the parking lot and saying, you know what, this is stupid, Triple H, we're on your side. And they could have booked another match or two here. But, I mean, like, I would have featured the Iron Man matchup kind of, like, as the majority of the show. And, I mean, it still would have been entertaining. Would have been a, good match to talk about, I think. So, and it would have definitely kept the whole walkout thing going with Triple H, saying fuck you, fuck you to the guys that walked out or whatever. Would have been creative, would have been interesting, but no, they went with the same old stupid, typical Raw format. And, you know what else I don't like too about how you knew that Miz and R-Truth were going to get reinstated, but I would have liked to have seen like ADR and Punk go for a while and then have Miz and R-Truth come out at the end of the show and beat the crap out of him. Then Laryngitis could have said, I've reinstated these guys. Because if you think about it, it's kind of like a birthday where, like, people are bringing your birthday presents to the table, and right before you open it, someone says what it is. You know what I mean? It's like, where's the surprise value in it? Like, that would make me mad because I'm about to open a gift, and I'm anticipating what it is, and someone's like, oh, it's this. That's fucking stupid. So, they should have freaking, like, saved, rehiring these guys for, like, the end of the show or something. Because, it wasn't going to be a big surprise, but, I mean, it could have at least made more sense. So, I don't know. That's Crazy Pretzel's view of Monday Night Raw. My view, because I'm Crazy Pretzel. Thanks for watching, phonies. Have a nice day. Have a nice evening. Or, actually, it is morning outside. It's actually like 8 in the morning. It's crazy I'm up this early. But anyway, peace out.